Good evening, councillors, and welcome to this annual meeting of the Town Council on Thursday the 15th of May 2025. Thank you very much for coming this evening, looking so resplendent. I've never seen so many ties, it's incredible. Well done. Item number 1 is election of the mayor, and this is to elect the mayor for the ensuing civic year. I defer to the town clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So, as you know, there are 2 nominations. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to ask if the person that nominated and second each nominee is still prepared to do that, and then there will be a vote. So, I'm doing it alphabetical order, so there's no favouritism. Okay, so if we can start please with Councillor Paul Carter. So Councillor Marie nominated, are you still?
That's correct, yeah.
And the seconder was Councillor Daniel Carter. Yeah, okay. So can I please have a show of hands for who supports Councillor Paul Carter to be mayor this year? 1, 2,
Of course.
Can you keep your hands quite high, thank you. 1, 2, 3, 3. Okay, thank you. Okay. And the next nomination is for Councillor Emmett Tuker, and again I refer to, so Councillor Morehouse isn't present, Councillor Tuker. Is there somebody else that wants to nominate Councillor Tuker? Councillor Green, thank you.
That's lucky.
Okay, and then second nomination is Councillor Ripley, who's not here. Is there anybody that's prepared to second Councillor Mallet? And if I can have a show of hands please for that nomination. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Thank you very much. So that is Councillor Tuker is now elected as mayor.
Swap places. Sweet. It's not comfortable.
I know it's not. We'll make the meeting short then. Thank you. Thank you everybody, and I appreciate the votes that were cast for me. The 2 that did nominate and second me, I'm sure there's not a plot that they're not here, but anyway, thanks for the substitutes. So, declaration of acceptance of office.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So that, if you could read that for me, thank you.
Okay, I, Emmett Tuker, having been elected to the office of the Right Worshipful the Mayor of Sandwich Town Council, declare that I take that office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to observe the code as to the conduct which is expected of members of Sandwich Town Council.
Thank you very much. And if you wouldn't mind signing the date, thank you. Thank you. And then as proper officer, I sign as well, witness. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yes.
So we move on to agenda item 3, which is the election of the deputy mayor. Town clerk, have we got a number of candidates?
Yes, I have 4 candidates. There were 5, but 1 person has withdrawn. So again, it's alphabetical, so there is no, favouring anybody. So the first candidate is Councillor Paul Carter, and again I will seek to ask if the person that nominated and the person second still supports. So Councillor, sorry. So Councillor Marie, you nominated Councillor Paul Carter as Deputy Mayor. Do you support that nomination?
Yes, I
Thank
do.
you. And the person that seconds Councillor Daniel Carter. Thank you. So if we can have a show of hands, please, for Councillor Paul Carter being Deputy Mayor.
Me.
2, yeah, 3. Thank you very much. Okay. And the next candidate is Councillor Dean Marie. And so, in the absence of Councillor Franklin, because he was your nominator, I believe Councillor Daniel Carter has said that she will. Thank you. And then the second was Councillor Paul Carter.
Oh,
Did you say?
yeah, that's fine, thank you.
So if I can have a show of hands, please, for Councillor Dean Marie being Deputy Mayor. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. So the next candidate is Councillor Martin Pennington. And again, if I can ask Councillor Fortescue, you nominated Councillor Pennington, do you support that nomination?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. And Councillor Breen, you second that nomination?
I did.
Thank you very much. So if I can have a show of hands, please, support of Councillor Martin Pennington being Deputy Mayor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4. Thank you. Okay. And then finally, but not least, we have Councillor Wiles, Colin Wiles, who'd like to stand for Deputy Mayor. And again, if I can ask the nominee, Councillor Black, you nominated, do you support that nomination?
I do.
Thank you. And Councillor Morehouse, who isn't here, has there anybody that wants to second that nomination? Councillor Breen, thank you. Okay, so if I can have a show of hands, please, who's in support of Councillor Colin Wiles being Deputy Mayor this year? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is Councillor Wiles by 1 vote. That's correct.
I didn't vote for myself.
Okay. Well, you still had 5 votes. So, yeah. Okay. So that's Councillor Wiles is duly elected as Deputy Mayor. Thank you.
Congratulations.
So if you'd like to read that, please, for me, Councillor Wiles. Thank you.
I, Colin Wiles, having been elected to the office of the Deputy Mayor of Sandwich Town Council, declare that I take that office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to observe the code as to the conduct which is expected of members of Sandwich Town Council.
Thank you. If you could sign, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'll witness that. Thank you very much. That concludes the question.
Thank you very much. Moving on to agenda item 4. Apologies for absence received. Do we have any?
Yes, I do, Mr Mayor. So Councillor Franklin is due to illness, he's not here this evening, and Councillor Gray has a travel commitment.
Okay. Moving on to agenda item 5.
Yeah, you should.
Because this is what the name plates. This is my name.
Oh, what a beautiful view.
Okay, declarations of interest. To receive any declarations of disclosable pecuniary interest from members in respect of business to be transacted on the agenda. Does anybody have any interest they'd like to declare this evening? Yes, thank you very much. Moving on to agenda item 6, minutes of the full council meeting, and that's attachment 1 in the pack. And this is to receive, adopt and sign the minutes of the STC meeting held on the 28th of April 2025, and to consider any matters arising from those minutes not covered elsewhere in the agenda. Do we have any comments on those minutes? And if not, does somebody have to propose? Proposing, Councillor Back, seconding Councillor Marie.
And the vote, please.
And the vote will be good.
Thank you.
And your cards. to agenda item 7, and it's attachment 2 in the pack. These are the minutes of the Human Resources Committee meeting, and it's to receive the minutes of the Human Resources Committee meeting held on the 6th of January 2025. Are there any comments? If not, would somebody be willing to propose the minutes? Councillor Green and Councillor Black will second it. Would you like to take a vote?
One extension. Yeah.
Okay, agenda item 8, attachment 3 in the pack. This is to review the terms of reference for committees and schedule of delegations. And this is to receive and adopt the terms of reference for committees and schedule of delegations for the ensuing civic year. Are there any points you'd like to make before we consider them, 10 o'clock?
Only just to make sure that, yes, that's correct in there. Just about the committees.
Yeah.
No, I don't have any comments, thank you.
The changes are highlighted, so it's
Just have one question, Mr. Mayor, if I may. Firstly, I may have been the first to congratulate you to your chair. The question is regarding the committee structure being quorum. So in 2021 it was changed after a bad vote took place in 2021, and when the new council came it was changed from 3 to 5, and now it's being changed back to 3. Can I ask why it's being changed back to 3? I don't like the idea of it being changed back to 3, I think it should stay as 5.
Yeah, it was only a suggestion of 3 if you've got a very small committee, like for instance Human Resources and Monks Wall. But if people prefer it to stay to 5, I don't have a preference.
It's just the question is what happened at the HR committee many years ago when things were changed and it was 3 and it was the core, it was people didn't like the core, and that's only certain. And I do feel that the way this council is going to step forward, it should remain at 5. So then it's a fairer vote.
So currently for the Human Resources Committee, within the terms of reference, it's 6 members from the previous year with a core at 5. So if we accept the pack set, then that's what we're accepting for that committee.
Yeah.
You have to, or do you have the comments?
I've got 2 comments, sir.
Fire away.
Thank you. The terms of reference for the Heritage and Townscape, unfortunately the old version still remains. It starts off to manage the public conveniences and then oversight of the Visitor Information Centre. We did amend that in January rather, to work with businesses and so on. There's a whole clause there which was inserted. It's just an error. I mean, it's so many pages, but can I ask that be amended, please?
Yeah.
And a very minor point, I welcome the changes proposed to the HR committee in yellow, but could I make a suggestion? It says to the second page, oversee and agree the annual appraisal process, and then the mayor and 1 member of the HR committee have undergone training. I think that should be directly under there rather than being the town clerk responsible for general staffing appraisals. I just think that that particular paragraph that you've highlighted in yellow is in the wrong place.
Okay.
But that's the only concern I have.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments? And if not, I'd like to propose we accept the terms of reference, but acknowledging and accepting the 2 comments made by Councillor Black. We have to second Councillor Pennington. Ready to vote?
One abstention. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, agenda item 9 is appointment of members to committees, and that's attachment 4. And this agenda item is to appoint members to committees for the ensuing civic year as follows. It's for the Finance and General Purposes Committee, 9 councillors including the Mayor. Heritage and Townscape Committee, 9 councillors including the Mayor. Planning Committee, 9 councillors including the Mayor. Human Resources Committee, 6 including the Mayor. Monks Wall Nature Reserve, 6 including the Mayor. And finally the Maddox Charity Management Committee, 8 councillors including the Mayor. Are there any comments from the town clerk on any of these?
Yes, so there was an actual error on the table there. So the Maddox Committee, it should be 6 councillors and the Mayor, because there are 7 people that used to be on it previously before this ensuing year, civic year.
Thank you for that amendment. Is that all?
And since this was scheduled as well, Councillor Pennington has suggested that he would join the Heritage and Townscape Committee. There is a vacancy because Councillor Ripley has expressed an interest in joining the Planning Committee. So then that would mean Councillor Ripley could join the Planning Committee.
Okay.
And there is currently one vacancy on the Finance and General Purposes Committee.
I'm not sure if anybody wants to jump into finance and general purposes, but if not, the only issue we've got is that we've got one that's oversubscribed. Yes. I would like to propose that we defer that to the next meeting because standing orders require a certain amount of activity, which we haven't performed this evening, and the time doesn't really permit it this evening. So all those that want to be on that committee will be an opportunity to follow the standing orders and do what's required of them for us to discuss at the next meeting with the full town council. If you're happy with that, that's what I'd like to propose. Someone like to second that? Councillor Black?
Which committee, some of his members, which
Human
committee is that?
resources. Okay, so if we just vote on that particular point. It's green.
So that would be deferred.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
then if we can just do a general vote. Did you have a comment?
Yeah, I was just going to suggest that if the vacancy remains of the finance and general purposes, I'm happy to continue.
Thank you. Thank you.
Unless someone else steps forward.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So we can vote on the actual presentation of the committees as they stand, adopting the membership for those where there isn't an issue in terms of numbers. Somebody happy to propose that? Councillor Pennington, second Councillor Marie, and vote. Thank you.
No abstentions.
On to agenda item 10, and that's appointment of any new committees. There are no committees proposed at this time.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor. Can I suggest that we need to appoint people to the HR Appeals Committee?
Yes, we do. I wonder if there's a comment from the town clerk on that.
Yes, so I was going to hopefully get that report ready for the 2nd of June. So,
So we'll come to the next full meeting of the council. Thank you. Agenda item 11, review of standing orders and financial regulations, and they are attachment 5 and 6 in the pack. Does anybody want to make any comments on these? Anybody else? No? If not, would somebody be happy to propose? Councillor Marie, and second.
sorry, Mr. Mayor, can I just point out as well,
Yes,
there is
please.
one in the financial regulations, as we have now agreed in terms of reference, we will increase some in regulations about the council approving anything over £5,000.
Yeah.
That will now be £10,000. Yeah.
Okay, so that will be reflected in those.
Yes.
Thank you for pointing that out. So, I've got a proposer, Councillor Marie, I've got a seconder, Councillor Pennington, and if we're happy to set those, can we vote on that? Thank you very much. Agenda item 12, arrangements including legal agreements with other local authorities, not-for-profit organisations and businesses. We've been asked to note that a review will be undertaken and a report to be produced to the council at a future meeting. So I think that's noted. Thank you. Agenda item 13, representation on outside bodies. This is the annual activity to elect members to serve on various statutory bodies and other outside organisations for the ensuing civic year. To note, the town clerk will share the existing list for members to consult on their preferences for 25-26, with a report to be shared with council at its next meeting. So I'm happy to defer that, pick that up then. What I would ask is that we should include the Sandwich United charity within that list, even though we are not currently represented on it.
Okay.
Agenda item 14, inventory of land and other assets including buildings and office equipment. We've been asked to note and receive a report for the inventory and assets register for STC, and this is attachment 7. Do you have any comments on that? No? Somebody? I think there was one comment that came through earlier, so just a clarification around one of the assets.
Yes.
Yeah, I sent in a query I sent in the query because there's an asset on St Peter Street, 11A and 13, and I was intrigued because I'm sorry I hadn't noticed this before. But this is actually the little garden that's on Mill Alley, and I think is an ideal place for the Peace Memorial to be sited permanently. It is owned by the council. I'm not sure who maintains it these days, whether it's Sandwich and Bloom or not.
Dover District Council.
Dover District Council.
So we will, thank you for that, Councillor Green. On the question of the Peace Monument, it will be something that will come up in this year in terms of its future. And it was always a temporary position where it went, so we can discuss a choice at that point. Thank you. So moving on to agenda item 15.
Sorry, Mr Mayor.
We've got a vote.
Yes,
Oh,
please.
right,
Yes,
apologies. So we need to note and receive a report. Is somebody happy to propose that? Councillor Pennington, Councillor Lee seconding. If we can take a vote. It's unanimous. Okay. Agenda item 15, confirmation of arrangements for insurance cover in respect of all insurable risks. And we've been asked to receive the insurance cover details in relation to STC, STVF Zurich for main insurance cover, STC, STVF Beasley for art and civic insignia cover, and finally BHIB for cyber security cover. Are there any comments you need to make, on these?
No, Mr Mayor.
No, and there's no votes asked for.
Yeah,
Just note them.
note the details.
Thank you. Agenda item 16, subscriptions to other bodies. We've been asked to note that the 25-26 subscription to Kent Association of Local Councils is due. Members are requested to continue with the membership, which includes National Association of Local Councils. We've been asked to receive a report that includes a list of current subscriptions for 25-26. Are there any comments on this list of subscriptions? No. I'm happy to propose that we note these. Councillor.
Sorry, Mr Mayor, if also council can agree that the renewal will take place for CALC with the NAP, because that cost doesn't
Yes.
actually, thank you.
Yeah, I second, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. And a vote on those? Unanimous. And agenda item 17, review of procedures and policies. To note that review of procedures and policies will be undertaken at the council meeting in June. To note that the council continues to adopt GDPR practices as required by statute throughout all its day-to-day business, and it provides information on freedom of information on the STC website. So we're not being asked to vote on that either, I believe. Thank you very much. Agenda item 18, which is attachment 10 in the pack. It's review of expenditure incurred under section 137 of the Local Government Act 1972, or the General Power of Competence. We're asked to note and receive a report which details the expenditure incurred during 2024-25 using the General Power of Competence. Mark, have any observations on that?
No, Mr Mayor, just to say that obviously Bay Hall was something that there is no power as such in the list, so that obviously called upon general power competence, and equally there isn't a power that talks about phone boxes, so again that's why that was on the list.
If there's no comments, is somebody happy to propose those? Councillor Wiles, seconding Councillor Pennington, take a vote. Moving on to agenda item 19, date of annual town council meeting for 2026. Town clerk to propose a date for this meeting after consulting with the new mayor, report for the next meeting. Okay, that's noted. And agenda item 20, county and district council services. Town clerk to provide an update of the next meeting on the outcome following formal invitation shared with DDC councillors as per standing order 6.6.6. Due to the recent KCC election result, it would not be appropriate to approach the newly elected KCC councillor at this time. Is that still relevant now, today?
I believe, in my opinion, yes, it wouldn't be fair when somebody's just been in office about 2 weeks. But what I will do after this meeting, I will reach out to the 2 ward councillors, Dover district councillors, to ask.
Councillor Marie.
Yeah, I do must stress, I've had a conversation with you in the past, Mr Mayor, I do stress the new KCC councillors and the reform councillor, none of us have ever met him, he's not been in the town, none of the leaflets have done during the election. I just feel, as I said, I do feel it was a vote on the party, not on the person itself. So I do stress that this council must get in contact with him so he can come and speak to us, introduce himself to the council.
Yeah.
I have sent 3 emails. He did send apologies for not coming to the mayor making this evening downstairs, but he does tell me that he'll try to make the meeting in June, but I haven't had confirmation yet because he hasn't got back to me.
I'll wait with bated breath.
I've shared the schedule of all the meetings for the year.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Wells.
Yeah, he has reached out on social media to say he will be coming to meetings. Let's hope so.
Thank you. And then finally, agenda item 21, date of the next full council meeting. It's been mentioned a couple of times, that's 2nd of June 2025.